Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time for the Esports Connection. The one show, maybe the only show that connects you with the whole world of esports that's sprouting up all around us here in Orange County and the industry that supports it. With one of the pioneers, we're happy to have with us here today, our own Esports Connection host going forward, Vincent Yard. Welcome, Vincent.
Thank you so much, Paul.
You are the face of esports. I'm the face of the old sports.
I like that.
Old sports was you went out and you threw a ball, you bounced a ball, you hit a ball, you did something with a ball, and if you did it enough outside in your own backyard, maybe you not only had fun and you learned about teamwork, but maybe someday you got on the high school team and every parent's dream, oh my God, they'll get some kind of scholarship and help me support for this college here. And esports is what the kids today, my daughter first and my son-in-law now, they're in their 30s, they're still doing it. And my grandsons in their 8, 10-year-old range, they still fanatically about want to do it. I'm like, go outside. Don't play inside. And I suddenly began to realize in the first round of this Esports Connection, we did this last year, launched this show, it struck me that I'm old school. The new school is, hey, there really is something to this esports industry. You can learn the same teamwork. You can learn the same discipline. You can turn this into from just a passion into a career. That's what you did. Let's talk about, you're a typical new generation, whatever this generation is called now here. You grew up playing esports on your computers or your PlayStations, and your dad's probably screaming, go outside.
Nope, right there. You hit it right on all cylinders right there. So, I mean, I started out just being a typical gamer out there, and just like you said, my dad was saying, get off that game. You got to get out there and do something different.
Yeah.
And I also played traditional sports too, so I knew already what I was doing getting into this whole Valhalla and Lake Forest. So
yeah, right. We're going to talk at length about that because you're an example of this industry sprouting up around it. But you were passionate for it. And did you play it then when you went to high school and later or whatever?
So I actually did join a couple of clubs in our high school because they were offering that at the time. But it was pretty small still. But as soon as I graduated in 2019 from high school, all of a sudden I just saw this huge blow up. And I was like, where did this come from?
Where did this come from? So we've had Mark Deppy, we'll hopefully get him back in here again, who at one time ran the high school pro league here, which was just an after school, like a club kind of thing for most schools. Wasn't really a varsity sport. And he convinced UCI, where we're streaming from, we'll call it the center of the esports industry here. I believe they were the first college, 4-year college, to support an esports program. And not only that, give away some scholarships and some money.
Yeah.
Don't go out and bounce the basketball, Junior. Learn how to move that mouse. Learn how to manipulate that stick, and you can get the free ride or a partial ride that I was hoping you'd get out of lacrosse or volleyball or some other sport here,
Yeah.
So fascinating how that's grown. And now we've seen it take off. Hopefully we'll get them back again here. Irvine Valley College has a program. A lot of smaller colleges, community colleges and smaller colleges, because they don't have a big football program. One, and they don't want to build big stadiums and stuff. And two, they want something that will bring kids in, get them fired up about the school, keep them connected as alumni like traditional sports has done for where I went to school, the University of Michigan here. Are you seeing any of that? Is any of that out there?
Yeah, so I mean, it's
moving just from clubs into actual varsity sports.
No, yeah, exactly. And that's just the crazy thing is, I mean, as you were introducing everything, the fact of the matter is that esports is actually turning into something that we are trying to build these same characteristics you get from those traditional sports.
Exactly.
And now, it can turn into your whole career for you. It doesn't have to just be, being that esports gamer. I know that's what all the kids look up to, but when we get down to, what the parents really want out of it.
I want you to learn something. Exactly. I want it to go somewhere. I want it to mean something here.
Yeah.
So let's dive into a little bit of this because this is what you're going to explore in the Esports Connection. What attracted me about this idea of the show, and I'm glad that you guys have picked it up. we had a young guy that came in and launched this with us, and he got a job in the esports industry and left and left us with this thing. So you guys have come and pick up the ball. We'll consider this the next round, the next season of the Esports Connection, where we had all these schools come in and illuminate for me, sitting in the dark, the growth of this industry. But let's talk about some of it. To me, there seemed to be a moment where the esports industry jumped right up to the pro level. They were going to create League of Legends pro teams, I think. Was that where they were going to do pro teams?
Yes, and I believe there is right now.
And they were going to fill up stadiums, and they were doing that in Korea and some other places, and people are going to go and sit in the stadium and watch big screens, and somebody's going to move a mouse to me and make these characters move, and I'm going to cheer and root for them just like I do for my local soccer team or baseball team or football team.
Exactly.
That kind of, it's not gone, but that fumbled a little bit. We use a football analogy here. And where it did seem to grow was because they didn't sort of organically have the, we'll call it, my daughter was in AYSO soccer, youth soccer, youth basketball, little league baseball. They didn't have that kind of youth structure into this. We're jumping from your bedroom to all of a sudden you're going to be a pro level.
Yeah.
And that's what was missing, I think. And I think the industry's taken a step back and focused more on the explosion has been in community colleges and high schools and after-school programs and real varsity programs at universities and stuff. Are you tuned into that? Can you talk about that at all a little bit?
Yeah, no, definitely. So, I mean, like you were saying, like there's that huge jump straight to the pro level, and all of a sudden, like over time, everybody was like, well, wait, how did they get there?
Yeah.
What they, obviously you said you didn't wake up one day and you were pro.
Right.
So what a lot of institutions, schools, universities and stuff, even down to middle school, even elementary school, honestly, they started having these clubs for people that are passionate about this, and then they'd recruit these gamers and stuff. They teach them a thing or two, and then they would go on to like actually pursue training to be an esport
training
pro. Yes.
To be an esport. What do you just got to eat a lot of chips and stay up and a lot of Monster drinks or something?
No, definitely not. That is not the pathway to pro. But I mean, for us, like, because Vajon has been actually a franchise across the U.S. for a while now.
Yeah.
We are basically the Little League of esports.
Yeah, so the Little League of esports. So talk about Val. We had. This is before I knew you guys opened. I think there's about 20. This is still an emerging franchise. There's about 20 of them, or a couple dozen of them around the country.
Yeah.
It's out of Texas. But one of the guys who organizes the tournaments, I believe, is in Yorba Linda. I forgot his name now here.
Yeah, that would be Chris Barstad. Yeah.
That was it. And I think he was on our show when we first launched. And he said, wait till you see this. This is going to be a franchise level, just like there are franchise people putting on little leagues and stuff. I mean, who puts on the Little League? It's a business for somebody here. Who puts on pony baseball and stuff here.
Yeah.
So it's a business, and somebody runs these things and organizes these things, and then that leads into the schools that support it, either as clubs or after school activities or even varsity activities. So talk about the business opportunity. Why would I enroll my kids in the Little League of Esports? Oh my God.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, because basically taking it into the aspect of Little League, you want to have your kid be able to grow up in a safe environment where they are already passionate about something they want to do for themselves. And,
I don't have to push them. They like doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So we use the video games actually as a tool to get them engaged to start, and then we actually start teaching them things such as our healthy habits and our structured lesson plan and stuff like that. Every single week we actually go through a training curriculum where they just not only get better at the game that they're playing, because obviously that's what they're there for.
They're there for that.
But the parents...
but you want them to get better.
Yes.
You want them to be better kids.
Yes.
And not goof around and not get in trouble, and learn to focus and learn to set goals and learn to work together. That's what I dreamed of in baseball with my daughter and everything here.
No, yes, exactly. Exactly that, Paul. That's that hits it right on the note. But yeah, we're trying to just build those characteristics you see in regular sports with leadership, teamwork, collaboration, stuff like that, so that these kids, the younger generation, as they grow up, they don't only just see at the end of the tunnel like, oh, I can just be a pro one day.
The dream, because that was kind of the promise a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. You can move from your bedroom to the big stage in one giant leap. So kids are like, I'm just going to hole up in my bedroom and work as hard as I can here at this.
Yeah, exactly.
But eventually somebody's got to coach you. Even I remember the great Michael Jordan saying once, I never met him, but this is what I read. This is a kid who got cut from his high school basketball program because he wasn't good enough. And he said, I needed a coach.
Yeah.
I had talent, but I didn't know how to turn it into something. And I didn't know how to develop the healthy habits and to do it regularly, passionately, purposefully, not just screwing around. And so when he got a coach, up to the end of his career, he had coaches to take him to the next level.
Yeah.
Arguably the greatest basketball player of his generation, maybe one of the few of all time.
Yeah.
So you're that. Now, this can also feed into if they're playing. Well, how does it work? They come and you have a facility, and there must be a bunch of computers there and a structure to this, and you guys compete against what other Valhallans around the country. And
yeah. So actually, right now, just bringing it to the present, like we are actually in the middle of our in-season tournament, about week 7, I think. So what happens is, if we're in the off season, they're just practicing with us and getting ready for that. Kind of just how like travel ball is. You join for the season and everything like that. And over those weeks, we go over our lessons. We go over maybe what they could have done better.
And if you don't know what travel ball is, this show's not for you. Oh my God, travel ball! You had to pay all this money. Once you were playing at the high school level, then they wanted you in the off season to join a travel team that cost a bunch of money. And they traveled around and played baseball, basketball, soccer, whatever. And on a very intense level against other people in that program or in that league or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same thing. So do they compete just against other Valhallans around the country, or do other school? Who do you compete with?
Yeah, so right there. So the thing is with Valhallan is that we actually allow schools and other organizations to join our league.
There you go.
So they're not only playing against other Valhallan franchises or anything like that. They're actually playing against other kids and schools across the U.S. So it's like, I want to say it's almost over 200 like organizations, including those schools. Sometimes because that age range is 7 to 17, you'll find freshmen in high school playing against a 10-year-old.
Yeah, and the 10-year-old's kicking his butt.
Exactly. So I mean, that's the thing about esports is it doesn't matter really what age you are.
Yeah.
What your background is in this sport. You could start off, and then in a couple months' time, all of a sudden you might even be the champ in our league. So
there you go. Now, when you compete, is it all done virtually online, or do you ever actually go live? We went, as part of this first round of the thing, we went to a thing called the Level Up Expo in Vegas, and they had 4 or 5 different games, 4 or 5 different kinds of things that you could compete in. Smash Brothers is one of them. I know that's not one of the bigger ones. It's usually like, League of Legends, and give me the other one. So let's
Valorant,
Overwatch, yes. So if you play that game, then you can come and compete this. And they had 100 stations up on the floor. And then they're all competing one-on-one. And then as it got whittled down, the best ones finally went up on the stage and were projected up onto these giant jumbotrons. And people sat there and cheered and went, oh, wow, ooh, hey, and everything. And they won money. They won prizes and stuff, not just attaboy. Do your kids ever get to go compete in that kind of stuff? Or is it all at this level just, it's you get an award, but you don't get money necessarily, and you're just competing online?
Yeah, so actually, I actually wanted to bring this up at some point, but actually last Friday, me and my father, it's a father-son business thing.
We're going to talk about that too, because that's crazy.
But
what a cool thing that is.
Yeah,
right?
We actually
Dad not only supported you to get into this, he's in it now here too. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But last Friday we actually went to Las Vegas to the Luxor, where they had their big HyperX arena in there.
Yes, we were going to go to that, and we couldn't get over to it. Imagine the giant Luxor hotel, instead of a sports bar, has built an esports bar kind of thing, an arena, and you can buy booze and you can eat food and you can sit in the stands and watch people compete.
Yep, exactly. And actually we had 2 of our own students go there this last Friday to compete in a Fortnite tournament.
Fortnite being one of the other big games that my grandson loves, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so
periodically I got to stop you for all this old I won't use the F, I should say fart, but it's radio. But the old farts like me that don't know what the hell these games are. Yeah.
That's totally okay. But yeah, so I mean, Valhalla actually is just that unique experience where we have certain things like that where we will actually try to organize you guys to get there if you guys join us, and then you guys can wear your jerseys and stuff and represent, and then, but mostly, so Monday through Thursday we actually have our main games, so Fortnite, Valorant, Overwatch, and we even have like Minecraft and Super Smash Brothers, like you said.
Yeah,
It
so
may be a
that's
small
little
one,
younger
but
kids seem to play that or whatever. Or you start off playing those games, kind of. Yeah.
exactly. But Monday through Thursday is actually when our tournaments and stuff go on. So, and yes, they do compete to get actually like a banner, kind of like you'd see in traditional sports. You know,
Yeah.
you win it for your football team, you win it for your baseball team, soccer. You get a cool banner, you get trophies and stuff like that. But the main takeaway is, you know, this is something.
And
you
do
can
they
win at.
compete individuals, one on one against? I'm against you, and then I'm against the next one I beat, and go up the ladder like they did at this tournament, or are there actual teams, and it's my team competing against another team?
That's a great question. Yeah. So actually, yeah, they actually get formed with, you know, other players in the arena or virtually. They actually play together against other teams. So, and it varies based on the game. Valorant and Overwatch is a 5-on-5. So we got to get a, you know, good structured team.
And that
for
was what this kid who hosted the first thing, why he likes Smash Brothers, because it is just mono a mono, one versus one.
Yes.
But many of these games are not just multiplayers. It is a team. Like my son-in-law loves Call of Duty, and he doesn't know who's on his team, but he has people they're teamed up with. He's found somehow, and they play as a team against other teams, search and destroy or whatever you do in Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, and then actually like Fortnite, sometimes you can just play that one solo, but at Valhalla we actually promote that you're playing on the team. So we actually have duos, so you have two people.
So this is like Little League.
Yep.
It really is.
Yes.
I'm going to put you on a team, and you're going to play together, and you're going to get better, and you'll have fun, and you win some awards, and there's a little pizza party probably at the end or something, and then whatever. And then for those that are really good at it, you can go on and compete when you get to high school and be either in their after-school clubs, or maybe some of them are getting more and more varsity programs. Yes, parents, there are varsity programs. You can get a varsity letter for esports in some schools now, certainly in colleges and community colleges now, particularly not the big ones with the big arenas where they're always pushing football or basketball. These are the schools like UCI, big schools, but they don't have a football program. So they're pushing esports in a big way here.
Yeah.
And so that's what you root for, and connect to the university and contribute dollars, the alumni, because I want those anteaters to win in every sport here. So I'm just fascinated by this. Now let's jump ahead. Then there is a chance for that rare few to go to a professional level. Is that seems to be a little disorganized right now? That seems to be they're trying to rethink some of that. They've rushed into that without creating the, I'll say, grassroots level to the sport. It's sort of the reverse problem with soccer. Soccer today is huge among parents and kids, not that big yet in a pro level. Esports got real big in a pro level without a lot of grassroots stuff, and now they're trying to
Put it all together.
Put it all together. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my impression I got here. Is that true? Is that where you see it at?
Yeah, so like it gets kind of complicated just because esports is like just a huge bubble of how many games that you can actually get into for pro teams. You know, like we were talking about League of Legends, we're talking about Call of Duty, we're talking about Fortnite, stuff like that.
Right.
So it's under this big umbrella where because in normal sports you see like the NFL, you see the MLB, so they already have like just one organization that takes care of all these teams.
Correct. Right.
But in esports,
And they're just playing one game.
yes,
They're not playing arena football and full football or Canadian football, or where they all have different rules and different field sizes and stuff here, for example. Right?
yes, exactly. So that's why, you know, you build up your resume, you build up your esports resume, I should say, and
Esports resume.
Yeah.
Folks, if you got an esports resume, no, I don't have an esports resume. Well, don't worry about your kid playing esports anymore, because this is a potential to go somewhere. And you're saying, and then the resume can get you onto a team. And
exactly.
get you a scholarship, maybe.
Yeah, because we actually have a collegiate showcase that we do at Valhalla.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's real. Like we actually partner with a website called staypluggedin.com, and they actually
Send out scouts like
Yes.
they do for football and baseball and everything
Exactly.
else here.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right. Now, beyond this sport has grown an industry to support this sport. And with that, huge companies are betting huge dollars to get into this sport. Oakley Sunglasses, based here in Orange County, supports the esports program at UCI, for example. They give them more than glasses. They give them money, I think. I think they do. And or maybe they just give them product. Certainly the gamers and the boards and the chairs and all this kind of stuff. But I want to say big insurance companies. I know Monster hired last year an esports coordinator for like 150 grand a year. Get us into these things, show up at our brand, run the booth, run the table, get us connected with the winners so they drink Monster when they're on the tournament or something here. Everything you'd see in regular pro athletes, this is happening, and big companies are throwing big dollars to get into this.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, and then you even got to think about, in terms of esports, you got all this hardware, you got headphones, you got mice, you got keyboards. They're all made by manufacturers, and
right.
There's a big one, HyperX, actually. So like I was talking about in Las Vegas, they have their own arena. They actually do sponsor a couple teams out there.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And so, mom and dad, you're thinking, what's Junior going to do with this? Hopefully, they'll learn the same skills they did in Little League and anything else, and teamwork, and get them off the streets, and focus, and work hard, and achieve a goal, and competition, all these great things you get out of sports. But they can go on and maybe win a scholarship. And if they do, but maybe they can work in the industry and work for some giant insurance company that doesn't know diddly about esports, but knows that's where our emerging customers are coming from. So we better be there, and we better learn how to talk that language. And these kids that are hiring out of college are getting 150, 200 grand more to be the esports marketing expert or coordinator or something. Get us into that world that you know so much about.
Yeah, so I mean, at the very base of it, esports in itself is kind of just like a big show, just like how those NFL games are on Sundays, how those MLB games are throughout the week.
Right.
You need somebody to set up that, that stadium. You need somebody to turn on the lights. You need somebody to do all these certain things, set up events. And
tell me who's the good player and the bad player, and how do we get in with them, and how do I get my Nike shoe on their foot here? And
No, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it turns into more about, it turns into more than just the game itself and the esports, like part of it. You can actually make a career out of this if you really have a passion for video games.
And that's just the promotion and marketing and tapping into the sport part of it. Talk about what exists here in Orange County. We have a little company called Blizzard that invented World of Warcraft and others. That's the one I heard of. Mm-hmm. And these multiplayer games, millions of people go on all at once and compete against each other, I guess, at once here or something. Is that how it works?
Yeah, no, exactly. So, I mean, yeah, Blizzard being that big one right here in Irvine. So,
which blended with Activision mm-hmm. and all these others. Microsoft. And now we got these conglomerates, and there's multiple platforms like the Microsoft. What do they got? The Xbox, mm-hmm. and then Sony has their PlayStation separate platform. And it's like, which one you want to be on, Apple or
which side?
Yeah, and other ones, and then the little Nintendo Switches and all this other stuff. All these people creating the gears, not just the gears, the platforms, the hardware for which you do this at home, and then the game titles that go into those. And there's fierce competition. Do I like this platform? This PlayStation better than an Xbox or whatever, or my little Nintendo Switch guy.
Yeah.
And then there are games, gazillions of games that go on to these things here. Talk about that world. It's just exploding.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
And a lot of that is here because Blizzard was here, so all the people that break off from there and want to be here, there's tons of little gaming companies here in Orange County as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't know too much about those. I'd know about the biggest one is Blizzard here in Irvine, but I mean, we got to go on a couple of tours there with some of our.
What's the other one? Riot?
Riot
up
Games.
In LA?
Yeah, that one's in LA. Yeah, it's another big one. I don't remember where the Epic Games is. That's Fortnite.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are all here in California. So I mean, that's such a huge thing for us, and we just got a chance to go to Blizzard, and our guide there actually was telling us all about how these kids can be game developers, sound designers, graphic arts people.
All these things, they can put that to use. And then in addition to that, there are platforms like this famous Twitch that everybody, if you're not a gamer, you don't know what Twitch is, but if you are, and they're up in San Francisco, but they have satellite offices, one of which is in Irvine here.
Yeah.
Where the developers, and so this is a platform like a social media platform. Kids go on and play, and you watch other kids play, and that's how you get better too. And then the kid just sits there for 10 hours and plays, and people tune in and watch him and ask him questions here.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Twitch saw that huge boom after, honestly, esports blew up, because all these other like pro affiliate people that wanted to put their stuff out there and show how big this can really be, they put that on Twitch. They put it also on YouTube. and they live stream it.
YouTube's trying to compete with them and go, don't go to you. And they're,
Yep.
and they're actually paying kids, don't play on Twitch, play on
Come
YouTube
to
or
us.
whatever, and we'll pay you $1 million or some ridiculous fee, millions of dollars here. So unlike a traditional sport where I go out and I have to buy equipment and I get hurt and I have to sweat and huff and puff, there's still some sweating and huffing and puff, but it's a different kind of, it's a stress more than it's a how to perform under pressure, right?
Yeah, and it takes a toll on that mental state for you, because just like if you were to maybe lose a game in baseball or football, that player is probably going to be a little bit upset or maybe a little down on themselves. Same thing in the esports world.
But it's more like chess. I'm not necessarily working up a sweat playing chess, but I am. Maybe that's a bad example, but it is. But it's very cerebral and very. I got to think and I got to be very focused and I got to stay.
Reaction time.
Reaction time. Yeah, exactly. All right, so but I guess what I'm saying is, unlike traditional sports where there's a place and you go play it and there's equipment you buy. I guess there's equipment you buy here, but there is nobody streaming. Hey, watch me just dribble a basketball all day and all that. You'll learn how to do that, like Twitch. There are no other online ways to play this game. I got to get together with people and do it. You're playing with people around the world, perhaps, or something.
Yeah, so I mean that's what Valhalla's here to do, is to bring this kid in, or bring these kids into a community where they know the kids that they're playing with, and so you're not playing with just some random older gentleman, or
Yes, I don't know who the heck this is. I thought it's a 10-year-old and it's some creepy guy that's playing with them.
Yes, exactly. We
That's
want to
a
make
very
sure
good point.
make sure those kids feel safe
Yeah.
and included in what they're doing, and plus a lot of the things we see nowadays is a lot of kids actually get really frustrated at the game. They get really toxic, I want to say. But that's what we're here to do, is to, like what I said already, but we develop those characteristics so that they learn to interact with other people that are right in front of them instead of just through a screen.
Well, you don't look like a slacker. You don't look like a guy just laying on the couch. That's our image of esports guys. They're kind of wasting their life here. You seem very articulate and very sharp and very interested. You're viewing this as a business, and you talked your dad into buying a franchise.
Yeah.
And you run it, and he backs it. What's that like, working with Dad?
I mean, before everything, as soon as he walked through my door one day and said, "Hey, you want to open up an esports arena?" I did not believe that was my dad that walked through the door. So I mean, but he was serious, and we talked about it, and he said, "You handle the gaming side, I handle the business, and it should honestly work perfectly."
So Dad sees dollars in it, and he sees a way to work with his son. What a cool thing that would be. I don't have a son, I have a daughter. To work with them in that sense would be a real kick and a family legacy. You don't see that very often today here. So my hat's off to both of you.
Thank you.
Well, this is a world most of us know nothing about, folks, me included. I was fascinated by it. We all know kids playing this stuff, and if you're my age, you're saying, oh my God, what is this going to be? It can be a career. It can be everything Little League is and more. It can be scholarships. It can be fascinating world that you've never seen before. That's what we're going to dive into in the Esports Connection. So I hope you'll tune in. We're going to do it twice a month on this time on Wednesdays at 3:00.
Yes.
And so I hope you'll put it on your calendar and come back and check it out. The Esports Connection, we're reviving it. It was a very successful program the first time, except the young guy running it got a job. And we've been wondering how we run this thing ever since. And in walked Vince and his dad one day and said, we'll pick up the ball and run with it, so to speak. Yeah. And here we are. I look forward to it. It's going to be fascinating. It's a world most of us don't really know much about, but it's all around us. And this may be the new big business opportunity, sports opportunity. Certainly going to be it already is a legitimate way that your kids are already into to learn the life skills that you hope they'll acquire here, and maybe more. All right, tune in each other. Give us, how do they reach if they want to check out your esports arena, someplace they can actually go and join a team? This is a new phenomenon here. Are there any other arenas in Orange? I don't think there are many or too many.
No, because we're just a very unique thing out here. We're not like a LAN center. You just come to pay and play. You know, it's a membership thing. But you can find us actually if you want to ask for more information. We're on, if you just type in valhallan.com. So,
let's spell that.
VALHALLAN.com.
Okay, Valhallan Esports. And you're the only franchisee in Orange County that offers this kind of Little League program and a facility. And of course, it's supervised, and you can drop your kids off, and it's an after school. I guess it's mostly after school kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it's after school, 4:30 to 6:30 every day on the weekdays.
Okay.
And yeah, and you can even look at more information online on any of our socials: Facebook, Instagram. You can even try TikTok. We have it's just Valhalla Lake Forest. And
There you go.
You'll find it. On
I hope
there.
you'll bring some of these kids and their parents in here, and they'll say about, oh boy, I wasn't sure, but oh my God, this kid's so excited. He's so turned on. He's so focused now. He's found a new passion, a new purpose in life, and I'm just thrilled he's got something that keeps him from getting in trouble here.
Yeah, we actually have a lot of parents already who I was telling this show's coming up, and they're like, "Can I get on there? I want to talk about it.
I want to talk about this.
Yeah,
exactly.
They
Well,
love it.
That's one aspect you're going to hear real stories of real people, and all the way up the ladder in this emerging new industry and the world surrounding it. Thank you, Vincent Yard, for joining us here today.
Thank you,
I
Paul.
look forward to many more of these
Me too.
on the Esports Connection. All right, hang on. Whew, I need some laid back music like that just to kind of gather this in. This is really a cool story, and I encourage you to tell others about it here. It's the only one in town, the only one I know about, talking about the Esports Connection, connecting you to this emerging industry and the sport on which it's built. As we stream live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation, which we'll call kind of the center of the esports industry, here on OC Talk Radio, Orange County's only community radio station.